What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We're excited to be here. We've got a good communist podcast for you tonight with my good friend Panda. What's up, man?
What's up, everybody? Just to let you know, he's not being racist. My name is actually Panda, so.
Yeah, we're not starting something here, and yeah, this is not a communist podcast.
No.
Just a joke we had going before the show started.
Absolutely.
Well, Panda, tell everybody a little bit about yourself so that the people that don't know who Panda is, tell everybody a little bit where you grew up, what growing up in China was like. Give everybody a little bit background on you.
Well, I think whoever's watching the show right now, they're probably in the head. Some of those guys, at least 3 or 4 of those people are like, he looks like he's really good at math. Hey, look, don't get me I guarantee you someone's like, yeah, he looks like he's like smart, doesn't even need the calculator. Actually, I don't. But also, still I'm not that
Do you have
good
to take
at math.
shoes off?
No.
Wow, man, you're a step ahead of the game.
Yeah, that was my cousin, making shoes, letters in the factory on a holiday, no overtime. Yeah, no. I run faster. That's why I'm here.
It's the shoes, right?
Yeah. I mean, no. So born in China, raised in China, came to the States back in 2012. College in Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, go blue. After that.
You just lost half of my family there. They all live in Ohio. They're hardcore Buckeyes.
Well,
they
guess
refer
what?
to you guys as booger pickers and stuff like that.
Well, guess what? If you try to explain a Chinese dude who's never been to the States and tell them, oh yeah, no, I'll be like, what's wrong with you? No, they offer me a scholarship, so yeah, money talks.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Right? I mean, after that, moved to Memphis for 5 years. Good old time. And then
you went from there straight to the hood because Memphis is hood.
Memphis is hood.
You never heard about what Memphis stands for?
No.
Memphis, making easy money, pimping hoes is serious.
3-6 Mafia, baby.
Hey,
Man.
I'm telling you. But you know what? I think it's just a lot of times people got scared of what they heard on the news, right? But so does a lot of the cities. That's the thing with the news these days.
I mean, I'll kind of agree with you, but I've spent a lot of time in Memphis, driving through it, being there. We used to go to Memphis in May every year.
Yep.
So, I mean, I've spent a lot of time there. Memphis is a very dangerous city. Memphis is, yes, just like any other major city, you get out to the suburbs around there. Cool, fine. But, actual downtown Memphis, man, it's up there with its crime rate and stuff.
Nowadays, yes.
Yeah,
nowadays,
especially
yes.
nowadays.
Yeah, but while I used to live there, it was all right.
Biz, you got to kill that echo. It is killing me.
But also, true story though. So back in, I think it was 2017, when I just moved to Memphis, about half year. I was just walking on Main Street. It was late. First of all, it was late. It was my fault. All right.
Yeah.
It was 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was just try to walk back to the house. It's not that far, right? So I was just walking, and then two Zoo pulled up. Both of them have guns. Aim at me. They're not 20-some years old. I think they're in their 17, 18, right? All wear masks, all that stuff. They're like, give me your money or I'll kill you, all right? So I don't know what I was thinking that night, but I was just so tired and sleepy. I turned around, I was like, look, dude, I'm so fucking tired. I have $8 on me. All right, so you take the $8 and then I'm going home to go to bed. Or you shoot me right now, take $8, right? And then whatever happens afterwards, I'm dead. I couldn't know, right? So I literally take my wallet out, threw the $8 on the floor, and then turn around and start walking. Don't give a shit.
Wow.
And you know what? Luckily, they didn't go after me. Yeah.
That's crazy. So, what was it like coming over from China straight to college here in America? What was that experience like for you? And what did
it's
your
like-
parents like think about all this? Like, how did that transition for them?
I mean, at the first place, for the first month, I'd say, definitely everything's different.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody interacts different. Even gas station is a little bit different. The first time I went to the gas station in the States, I was like, holy shit, y'all got a chance to fill up your own tank? That's awesome. No, dude, seriously, because in China, like, you pull up and then, you just take the window down and tell them exactly what type of gas you want. There will be people that fill up for you. Same thing in Nicaragua, right? But in here, no. You never see motherfucker like sitting in a gas station.
Except for New Jersey.
Oh, really?
New
Yeah, you
New
get a little
Jersey,
bit of that
you can't
upstate.
do your own gas. They fill it up. And that freaked me out the first time I went there. So yeah, I said, why do they do that? It cuts down on crime from people stealing gas because it's New York, New Jersey, and they said it provides jobs. So you actually get full service whether you want it or not.
Right.
But you can't fill your own gas up there.
Well, you know what? Jersey, they can afford to do it.
There
But,
you go.
I mean, to me, it's just like, it's actually a really good thing, figuring out how to do the pump, all that stuff. Like, the first time it takes me like a while, but I figured it out. And also, same thing with the subway. Like, because you never think about like, okay, yeah, like pickle, all that stuff, add together, put the orders in, right? When you're prepare your SAT, all that stuff. SAT is gonna ask you a question. Yeah, so how you gonna prepare your sandwich in Subway? You never thought about that, right? But that's actually a daily problem you got to deal with, right? So I remember the first time I went there, it was lunch break. There was a line. Yeah, it took me about 15 minutes to order a Subway. I can feel like, literally, I swear to God, I can feel the guys behind me. And they were like, this Chinese motherfucker, how did you even get here? Like, but you're just like you're trying to figure out the right way to say it. Yeah. And then whatever came out was horribly wrong, and you tried to, correct that, and then just make a mess. But that's part of the experience, though. Like after I think after 2 months seeing, I really started to love it. Everything
That's
is
awesome.
Everything is different, and
What did you come here for school for?
entrepreneurship.
All right. So that's going to lead into those that don't know. Although if you listen to the show pretty regularly, you've heard me talk about the Panda. Whether you thought I was talking about the animal or whatnot, I think everybody knew like his cigar, especially the Domino, is one of my favorite cigars that I've smoked. Like it's phenomenal. So like if Panda gives me a cigar, like I know I'm about to smoke something really fucking good. Like, and before I forget, because everybody always wants to know, and I mean obviously Panda's here, so I played golf today, so I've already smoked a couple cigars, so I wanted to do something kind of special since Panda always gives me really good cigars. So we're smoking the Atabey Black Ritos tonight. So I'm excited to hear what you think about it because you're such a cigar aficionado these days. So, but like this is one of my favorites. So
You know what, why
probably
people
I
all-
say best cigar I've smoked.
This is the time I said white people always have the fancy shit.
Oh, here he goes, making about the white people jokes already.
No, I mean, yeah. So all those cigars you tried before, don't worry, everybody is not made in China. On the other hand, is made in
You
China.
mean they don't have COVID?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Just the
I
wrapper?
I only have so limited access
Just
of
the wrappers
information.
that you put on them?
But they were always saying there's a meme on internet. The difference between Wuhan and Vegas is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I was like, damn, that's fucked up, but that's a really good one. Anyway, yeah. So
You already got
good-
like comments coming in like crazy.
I know. What's up, Rob? What's up, Eric? Good to see you guys on here, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah, so Atabey Black Ritos is what we're smoking. He's doing an old fashioned is what he's drinking. That was a Woodford old fashioned. And for those of you that come to ICC, this is, I don't even know what we're calling this yet. I keep telling Riley he has to come up with a better name for this. This is Riley's Bourbon Margarita. It does not taste like a margarita, and it's
Does it taste more? I want to try. You know, I really don't drink, but I want to try one. But is it more bourbony? Because I love the lime.
It's like
taste of margarita.
it's like a whiskey sour. That's the closest
All right,
thing I
fair
can
enough.
compare it to. Like, I told him calling it a bourbon margarita is gonna get people to not drink it, because when he first said it to me, he literally had to tell me, "I will buy this for you if you don't like it." And I agreed to it because I was just prepared to make fun of Riley, like we all like to do up here. And I was just going to bust his balls and give him shit.
Yep.
And then I took one drink and I was like, damn it, this is actually really good. Like,
I mean, I'll buy to try it, but definitely not because of the name. The name is definitely like you said, you know, it's a huge turn down. It's like margarita.
Yeah,
I fucking drink
double
margarita.
oak,
The fuck
double
am I looking
oak,
like?
double oak Woodford margarita.
Right. It's just like I don't know. I'm still like sometimes it's just still the feeling of whenever I heard about the word margarita, it's always remind me of like, you know, different girls get shit-faced drunk in different locations. Doesn't matter, New Orleans, New York, or like Miami, South Beach, or like always margarita. I was like, so margaritas the drinks for drunk girls. Okay. I know. No margarita for me.
Panda's not going to be a drunk girl. At least he didn't say drunk white girl. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for him to call it out and say it's for drunk white girls.
Well, this is the time we talk about privilege, right? You got the privilege. Go ahead. I'm not saying that.
Damn. We're going to break all kinds of records and for sure get banned tonight. I feel it coming already. So what started you? Like, I want to go back like real early on. Like, what started you on your cigar journey?
Well, let's start with I started smoking cigarettes when I was in China. I was like 13. You know, in China, you start.
That's super common there, right?
Back then, it was often to see, not common.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't know, because that was like early 05 or 06, something like that. You know, I was started smoking when I was 13 and drinking when I was 14. And thanks God I was not in the States. Otherwise, my ass would be in trouble. Anyway, so, you know, got back to the States now. I went to this tobacco shop called Mason Edward in Arbor. It's in the Nickel Arcade. Yeah. This is a really, you can tell like this shop has some time into it. Like this sells like, you know, shaving stuff and also cologne. Cigars, pipe tobacco, and cigarette tobacco. So I started going there to buy the loose leaf tobacco, like you know, for cigarettes, like Virginia, Turkish. Those are really good, by the way. Try to roll them.
So you're just gonna roll your own cigarettes.
Yeah. Just you just sit there and then roll the paper and smoke it, and then even that, like the first time I went there, I still remember like what actually made me to stay there is just like random people walking in there. Doesn't matter if they light up a pipe or smoke a cigar or like smoke cigarettes. They never met each other before, right? They just sat down there and started talking. So, back then I was still trying to improve my English. Well, I'm still trying, but, back then it was like way worse than now. Right now, like back then it would be like, huh? Like 9 out of 10 times, like, huh? Okay, sure. But, that's my intention, right? Yeah. It's trying to learn like how like listen to how people really talk, right? From the States, how they really talk. And then I start to go there more and more often. Every time rolling cigarettes, 2 or 3, and then left the place. And then there was one day I finally decided, you know what? I've seen this in the movies, Godfather, all that, Scarface, all that shit. And it's like, I'm gonna smoke a cigar and try to act like a badass. That's like when you were early 20, you were like, fuck everybody, fuck you, I'm the king of the world, all that shit. That arrogance started to kick in.
Yeah.
So I went there talking to the owner. I was like, ask her this dumbass question, like, okay, what is the most expensive cigar you have here? And he gave me a Opus X. That was like the Opus X back in 2012. So like it was right before their warehouse fire. I smoked it. I liked it. I was like, oh yeah, this is good. Give me a box. I just grabbed a box. And then I powered through the whole box within like 10 days.
A whole box of Opus X?
Yeah, 2012. But you know, back then, I don't know. Like, I was like, oh, this cigar are like look nice. All that
You were
stuff,
going to
bands.
karaoke bars and singing Frank Sinatra.
Well, something like
smoking
that,
cigars,
you know,
like
similar.
just chain smoking them.
Yeah, pretty much. Or just like sitting on the bench and chain smoking and figure out life. Even though I was like 20 years old, trying to figure out life.
Yeah.
You know, I was like bullshitting all that stuff. But then, you know, after I went through that whole box, I went back. So, no, yeah, those are great. Do you have more? The owner's like, which one mean more? I was like, I smoke all of them. The owner literally, motherfucker, you said what? You smoke all of them? I was like, yeah. He's like, do you have any idea how many people been cursing at me because I sold the whole box to you? I was like, I don't know. Like, you told me to grab. Okay, I just got the whole box. And then that was the first, you know, after that is really I start to smoke other cigars.
Yeah.
Like Padron, and then the Cristobal, regular Fuentes, and Tatuai, all that stuff. And, you know, that started to slowly lead me to, like, explore different cigar shops in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Then I became a regular at La Casa Habano, La Casa de la Habano in Ann Arbor. You know, I really started became a regular there. So
it started out as a social thing, though, like for you to like get better at your English and to really want to like make friends, like understand the culture more, and like to go down that road.
It still is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that's one of the reasons I still go to.
But that's a big part of what we talk about the family here at ICC,
right?
And like, you know, how a cigar is a great icebreaker.
Yeah.
You know, because like you can just sit down with anybody and like once you're sitting there, like, hey, what are you smoking? Or you know, like it's just a conversation starter.
But also at the same time, I'd say like another reason at the beginning for me to go to cigar shops is just because that's pretty much one of those few places you can smoke inside.
Yeah.
Because, you know, winter in Michigan, that was cold. Like, it was like literally, fuck me, that was cold. So, like, you don't want to smoke a cigar. Like, you can barely finish your cigarettes outside in Michigan. And they were like, you're knowing, like, there's a heater, warm seat, all that stuff, relaxing place for you to smoke inside. I'm game. But, you know, that's like, that was part of the reason to push me to go there, right? But it didn't end up like that. It didn't end up my prime reason anymore. Yeah. Now it's just like I'm always like different cities, all that stuff. I'm always looking for new space, new places to go because I just want to see people. Yeah. Like even, you know, it's in states, all that stuff, but every state, even like different county, like people might talk about different subject. Right? And to me it's always eye-opening experience. Especially from my, you know, if you think about it from my cultural background, right? Nothing I heard that I've ever heard in a cigar shop is something I've heard before in my life, right? Really? And then, I mean, a lot of times you're like, oh, wow, that is actually, you know, a new perspective, a completely different perspective I've never seen before.
In China, where would those conversations happen?
Conversation? Fuck, are you crazy? Get back to work. You got time for conversation? What are you, like 70, 80 years old?
I've never been to China.
No, I mean, it's just very, like in China, we still talk, but it's very, I'd say it's relatively speaking more enclosed. Like, you will have conversation on that stuff with like friends, right? You already recognize from other space, like work, school, or whatever, right? But then it's kind of like, I mean, it's definitely getting better nowadays. But back then, you know, while I was growing up, like you don't go to like bars, all that stuff to meet other new people. You go with a group that you already know and you just talk there. Not like
so
here.
You
like,
never meet new people. It's people within your group.
Yeah. I know it's crazy for Chinese to say 1.4 billion people. We see people every day. That doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. You know, you can have like, look, like my city, Xi'an, I was born and raised in there, right? And my city is like a middle-sized city. We have about like 12, 13 million people, right?
Wow.
And it sounds like a lot, right? And it's actually way much more than you think. Especially the holidays. Jesus,
13 million people in one. We got 7.1 in the Metroplex.
Right.
Spread out.
Right.
You got 13 in one city.
Yeah. No, including some suburbs.
Some suburbs,
But it's not.
still.
I think it's like if you compare with that with the entire DFW metro area, I think it's like in between a third and a half of the size.
Okay.
And you have like 13 million people.
That's a lot of people, bro.
I mean,
That's
look.
a shitload of people.
Well, I'm telling you, like when during rush hour when you try to catch subway, you don't need to hold on nothing because your foot are always off the ground. That's how many people there are. Like you don't need to hold shit. You just like okay.
y'all
People
do
just like lift you up. That's how many people.
Y'all
But
do a lot of humping over there, bro. Y'all procreate like crazy. That's a lot of people.
But also, but at the same time, it's we have the one child policy, right? Why do you think now all of a sudden, right, one child policy can make sense, right? That's like the result of one child policy. We still have like my hometown like 13 million people,
Wow.
but anyway, but like with that number, right? Yeah, you have so many people, but the interactions, the chances for you to spend time with specific individuals is actually less because every day you have so many time, like so many things to do, so many people you need to talk to, all that stuff. They just separate all your time, and it's like I said, it's kind of like it's a different type of loneliness, right? Like longitude. It's because when you are living in the city where it's like 13 million people, but you probably only have like 5 people that you call friends. You see, that's kind of like a different type of lonely. Like the bigger the number is, and make yourself look like, fuck, my life sucks. Just that kind of thing. So
Okay. All right. Well, we got some questions for you
That's
already.
Evan's question. That's kind of cool.
All right. So Evan asked if Panda could smoke a cigar with anyone, who would it be and why?
Does that have to be like someone who's still alive?
No. That's just
No. All right. We'll clarify. One person alive, one person dead.
Okay. Let's start with the dead one.
All
Okay. I'd say Winston Churchill.
I like that answer.
okay.
The reason would be I always
communist.
I would always want to ask him this question. Okay, so what do you think if William Shakespeare wasn't born in Britain but was born in China and around the same period of time, but it is different dynasty? Do you still think that he can become William Shakespeare, or he will just be a nobody? That would be my question I want to ask him.
Okay.
Right? Because, I mean, look, it's, of course. Shakespeare, very talented. He went to Ivy School.
Yeah.
His major was not in literature, but he laid the foundation of that major. Right? So that was like my question is, okay, so does that mean is that person make it possible, or that entire environment make it possible, or both?
But would he even have been allowed in China? And maybe this is an ignorant question, but especially in that time period, would he have been allowed to have the freedoms there to explore the things that he explored, or would that not be a possibility?
I'd say probably not. But you know what? My personal guess is he still would be famous, right? He would still contribute a lot. Literature, right?
Yeah.
It's just in different style. He probably could be like a really famous Chinese poet. Just, it will still be
Maybe he would
talented.
have written the plays and all
Right. Probably not Romeo and Juliet, all that stuff, because
Yeah.
it's like love, forbidden love, all that stuff. It's something that, the old Chinese society is trying to suppress. But like, like King Leo, all that stuff, I think those would be popular. But, that's why I want to have this conversation with Mr. Churchill. And also, on top of that, it's like, okay, are you really that cheap that you never pay any bills for your suits? Like, you cheap ass motherfucker. That's just rumor. I just want to qualify that. I just want to confirm. So,
Yeah. All right. So you got the dead person. Who's the person still alive?
would say Dave Chappelle.
Dave
nice.
Chappelle. I like that answer. That's cool.
Dave Chappelle.
Why?
I just want to, ask you this question, like, what is his ultimate goal or purpose of him doing stand-up in the way he does? Right? Like, to me, I think, one thing I believe, a lot of guys share this opinion as well. Like when he does stand-ups, right?
Yeah.
He cracks jokes, all that punchline, build up to it, all that stuff. Yeah, sure, that's technique. But also, if you really think about it, he's one of those people who, who brings the heavy or fucked up topic.
Yeah, it brings awareness to something.
Right, and then make people laugh.
Yeah.
Right? So, also at the same time, I think that's like, the more fucked up the situation is, the harder people laugh. So I was like, okay, so is that your goal? Like, to just try to make people laugh and forget about bad things, or people try to remind people these are very real things that's still happening.
Yeah.
So instead of, besides laughing, we really need to decide to look at it.
Yeah, bring
because
awareness.
Right, because he's not choosing to jump over it or go around it. Mm-hmm. Right, he decided to face it. I'm gonna try to present that to public in a different way, so that people could be aware of it and start to put some thought on it.
I think that's definitely the line that he probably goes down, for
Right.
sure. Yeah.
That's that's why, like, sometimes, like, I'm the same way. Like, I know, like, sometimes if I really see some fucked up dude, like the first time I meet him, I was like, okay, oh shit, you like to talk shit? Okay, my name is Panda. Yes, I'm Chinese. I have small ass, small dick. I'm really good at math. Sometimes I eat dogs. Only child. Yes, I have a cousin who works at the factory in China. They're underage. What else you got on me?
I have 1,000 twins.
Right? Like, what else you got on me? And then a lot of times they just like shut. Like, they're like, oh shit, I got nothing. And that's why I was like, dude, come on. It's just like, I think there's always like this ratio, because ratio is not just against black, right? It's against all race, all color. I think the first step to even try to solve the problem is to actually be able to, like, look someone in their eyes and tell them there is actually a problem.
Yeah.
It's not like fucking all rainbow and there's sunshine. There is a problem. You need to acknowledge the problem first. You can't just like pretend nothing happened, everything is all right. Dude, come on, stop lying. Like,
I get it. I mean, I say this all the time. Like, I hate how society wants to put everything in a box. Everything's got to be categorized. We got to, we can't just be humans. There's still all these little divides and things, so.
There's racism outside of races, though, too.
Yeah, man, it's everywhere, bro.
It's just.
It's ridiculous. Like, and people want to act like, well, there hasn't been slavery in so many years, so like, well, that ain't the only kind of racism. And yeah, there's still a lot of that bullshit that goes on. I mean,
like, you sure about that? The slavery? You sure? No, it still exists.
No, I know
just,
it does.
They just put you in different ways. It's just like the core of it never changes. They just represent themselves in different forms.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, and maybe because you didn't grow up here, maybe this is one of those that, like, maybe you missed a little bit, but I know Biz will relate to this. Like, there are still a lot of white people that if, just like whether it's Black Lives Matter or this and that, I mean, all the different things that try to bring awareness to this stuff, there's still like white people that will be like, well, I don't know why you're acting like that, Biz. I mean, like, slavery didn't affect you. Like, that's been gone way before you were born.
But you know what I would tell them? Cool. Let's ride together. Let me let you drive. You get pulled over by the police, and then I get pulled over by the police. Let's see how different it goes. And I'm not saying all cops are wrong when I say that, but literally, as a black man, you do have to act different when you're stopped by the police versus your average white guy. When I teach my sons, like, literally, there's just a different perception no matter where you go. That's just what it's been. So you can't ignore what exists. Now, I'm not saying you can't exist in it, but you can't ignore what exists.
Yeah, and I mean, you've heard that. I mean, like that's like the common scape out of like I don't want to acknowledge this or I shouldn't have to acknowledge this because, your great grandfather. Like, well, it really, idiot, it didn't go back that far. But like, okay, yeah.
But
like,
also,
it's
I mean,
still
if
an
you
issue.
think about it, like the core of the slavery is that other people force you to do things that against your own will, right? Basically. And nowadays, if you think like, oh, there's no slave, really, we're all like a lot of people were slaves of money. Not because that we love money. It's just because if we don't make money, our life will be fucked up. Why? Because we're all law-abiding citizens. We don't want to cross the line.
Yeah.
So we have to work our ass off. And now, because of inflation, all that stuff, you realize that, damn, it's, you need to work harder and harder.
I just read it in a book that you are an indentured servant to your bills.
Oh,
You
for
work
sure.
to pay bills.
Yep.
Just period. Some of us are lucky; you don't have to have them issues, but you're. That's it. If you don't pay them, you don't have.
Yeah.
So guess what? You're a slave to what?
Exactly.
call them
I think that's
Williams.
why I love Spain, man. When I went to Spain, like those people don't work to live or don't live to work. They work to live. And like it's kind of on their own time. Like they get up when they get up and they kind of go into work for a little bit and they, after they've had their little tiny breakfast and then they, they stopped at the bakery, got fresh bread and then they, go into work for a little while and then at noon they shut everything down and then they go have a little siesta and they go have,
What's the economy like? Though? How do you survive
but
and thrive?
they still do it, man. Like but they're only open and like these businesses are only like it's just like all segmented and these people just like live their life and like, but it's not all about working and climbing the ladder and like all these other things. Like it's really kind of crazy to me.
But also, I think there's one. I think what I'm debating right now is, I think there's nothing wrong with working hard, right? A matter of fact, doesn't matter where you go, you should always work hard.
Yeah.
But I think right now, what's the society? The feedback is what makes people feel different ways. Like I don't mind to work my ass off, all that stuff. But if you're telling me that after all day work my ass off, well, this economy is booming, and I only make about $20 a day. Yeah, no, I don't feel all right.
Yeah.
Right? It's but if you think about this, like just like the cigar, let's talk about cigar rollers in Nicaragua. Right?
Okay.
They make about like $180 to $230 a month. Right? And then, that's like Monday through Friday, every day rolling cigars, nonstop. But also, for them, they can, with that money in Nicaragua, you can actually live comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about going out, of course. Like if you once the moment you started chasing things like material things, too much flashy things, too much, then of course nobody will have enough money,
Yeah.
right? But then it's just like, can you imagine like all of a sudden one day those rollers, I told you told them, oh yeah, instead of you make $230 a month, now you only make $80, and good luck. Right? See, that's sometimes I have issue with, like, because I think everyone, doesn't matter, women, men, whatever that is, as long as you work hard, I think you deserve to be rewarded,
With a fair pay.
equally, yes,
Yeah.
fairly. So,
What's like maybe Evan wants to know, what's like maybe a funny story you can tell us from your travels since you've traveled quite a bit? Well, what's one that comes to mind? What's a good Panda?
oh yeah, absolutely. There's one. There's no. So back then, when I was in China in high school, right? You start to speaking like they trying to learn, teach you English, all that stuff. So we start with you got to pick your own name, like English name. It could be like word, because we're Chinese, like we don't know like the different stories behind each name in the Bible. No. It's just, some people like, for instance, for me, like my first English name was Charles. I don't know why, but it was Charles. It's like, okay, Charles. And then after that, there's Alan. I named myself Alan.
I'm so glad you picked Panda.
I know, right?
Yeah, I like
Right?
Panda way better.
And then I later on like Footman, and then later on Panda, right? So so that's the background of the story.
Yeah.
And the story goes, so I have two, like one girl, one boy, right? They're in my same grade, same school. Mm-hmm. So the the dude, he always loved the word super. So he named himself Super, right? Okay, cool. Okay. And then, the girl, she kind of decided, because she liked the magical wizard, all that stuff. So she called herself Magic, right? It's just like, when you think about that, now think about this. This is the context I gave you guys, right? Think about this. It's just all so cute. Two Chinese teenagers trying to figure out, like, trying out. However, this is something I didn't know until I come back, like until I came to the States. Once you put that name with their last name, it's a whole different animal. The dude, so the dude, his last name, I swear to God, spelled as D-O-N-G, Dong. But you don't look. But here's you don't pronounce that in Mandarin. It's Dong, right? But in English, it's Dong. Are you saying that's bad? Oh, and the girl who picked the name Magic, her last name is W-A-N-G Wang.
Magic Wang.
Yeah, so you have Magic Wang and Super Dong. The same school, same grade. Shit you not. I didn't even realize how funny that is until I came to the States. And I was like, holy shit, that's what that means? I was like, love mysterious story of Magic Wang and Super Dong in high school. This is like fucking Pornhub, like genre or something like that, right there.
I think you got to do a Lancero or something and call it Super Dong.
Super Dong. Pass me one of the Magic Wangs over here real quick, man. Let me smoke that Wang real quick, bro.
Yeah. Panda, you got any more of that Wang or that Dong for me?
English, man, I'm telling you, there's just certain way people say things.
Your language, so Mandarin, that's hard. That's a hard language to learn. So how hard was English? Because I'm guessing everybody in the world is exposed to English.
And how many languages do you speak?
But you know what? I got one thing to answer your question real good. You think that's hard? And guess what? I used to always think rap was hard. Y'all still do it.
Yeah, I guess it's poetry. Just spoke real fast.
See, exactly. But when you were born and grow up in there,
Mandarin rap.
there is. But see, that's what I mean. Like when you grow
rap
up in there, you
has
just
cadence. Rap music has metaphor. Like me being old school, that shit meant something. Now they just make words rhyme.
Now it's three things: pussy, money, weed.
That's it.
Which is like I don't get it. That's like, come on, like seriously, how is that everyone's talking about these three things, and now you try to be different, but every time you're trying to tell everybody you're different,
they don't accept it. The industry did this. I have a huge background in radio, and I actually had a conversation with my mentor from radio just today, and we talked about how it's changed, and that radio and the execs sitting up in these towers, they create if you think about it, all music sounds alike now.
Nope.
And the only way you find something different is independently on YouTube.
Yep.
It used to be radio was the more different you sound, the more you stuck out. Mm-hmm. And then everybody remember when Little John first came out? Little John but then everything was that. Yeah. And then everything was that trap thing. Now everything, and then trap music wasn't even more of like African American black rap. That was more white kids slowing it down, and a little bit of the trap came in, and now that's and I thought trap was gonna be just a thing and go away. That shit's been here for 10 years and it ain't gone nowhere. Everything sounds the same.
The only one I'm glad that did go away is that chopped and screwed shit from Houston. God.
Well, it ain't gonna never leave Houston.
No, it ain't gonna leave Houston.
But on the national set, yeah.
Thank God that didn't grow up, man. That was the one time I was completely pissed off that Po Pimpin' Do or Die. You know, that wasn't on iTunes, Apple Music for like the longest time. And then I found it.
That's my shit.
And I just saw the album cover and I was like, Do or Die, yes, download.
But also, you know,
You downloaded the wrong version.
No. The only version that was on there was the chopped and screwed. It was horrendous.
but you know what? To me, I think every era, each era, you know, you always have humongous, like, overwhelming amount of talents. But like what not every era has is the innovators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I think, you know, but also if you think about that, now the education system have everything to do with it. How could you possibly expect someone to produce like innovating music or bizarre lyrics if they don't barely know how to read or write?
Well, I mean, that's true.
That
That
is
must be
just
how
like,
DJ
look.
Screw got famous.
Look, I mean, think about it, but back
welcome.
then, more or less, right, the earlier stage hip hop guys, the rappers, all that stuff, they got influence either from their family, like church, or like they read,
Yeah.
or like different poetries. They may not good at every single class, but they're always a fan of literature.
Yeah.
Different stories, different tales, all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, nowadays, you're lucky if you can find a dude, like a high school kid, to tell you a complete story
that's true.
without confusing himself or themselves, you know. No. Yeah, no. But it's, yeah, I think that's education.
The
definitely.
thing is, that's hard when you try to come up with ideas. Just like if you look at trends, if you try to follow a trend or get like, look at TikTok. Everybody, if you notice now, everybody's a digital marketer. Everybody's a content creator and all that. Basically, what I've learned that once you try to get on a trend, it's already over. If you're not the first one, I mean, go all the way back to the internet. Let's just talk about the internet. Think about it. If you wasn't one of the first ones, the www, it's already too late. It's already here. It's already kind of already over with. You've already missed the trend.
You know,
So
that's-
how do you become a trendsetter? That's
You
the
know,
question.
that's one of the things I've been doing a lot of research on because, as you know, I'm going to go to this conference that's on speaking and stuff, and I've got to give like a 15-minute TED talk this weekend.
Dang.
And I'm super fucking nervous about this and like trying to work my way through it. Yeah, bro. Put me on stage in front of people, man, especially my peers and my friends. And like I said, I've had to get myself into a different headspace getting ready for this because most of the people attending this are already motivational speakers that are trying to take their game to the next level. Whereas like, I'm just trying to like get better at something I think I suck at. So it's a little bit different, but you know, I'm going to end up doing most of my presentation on common sense and communication. And, you know, the one thing that I kept coming back to and looking at is in all of the history of man, like communication is at like its highest level. It's the fastest it's ever been. It's, you know, social media, everything like, but even though we've gotten all this, we communicate more poorly than people did 1,000 years ago because people have gotten lost in the technology and communication because it's like it's advanced almost to a point where people have forgotten how to just have a conversation with somebody, how to like have an icebreaker, how to just start a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
And like to take the time to really do that. Like everything's in these little clips and like people, it's just like you can read a text or an email and there's no tone to it. So like people have lost a lot of the art of actually communicating. So it's, you know, I that's kind of one of the focal points I'm going to go on. So
That's the reason even until nowadays the only social media I have is Instagram, and that is only because I have to.
yeah.
I don't have no TikTok. I know Chinese people invent TikTok.
guy without TikTok? What is wrong
Well,
with
guess
you,
what?
Panda?
I'm one of them. Yes, we look the same. Doesn't mean I invented it, right?
Yeah.
So deal with it.
Just like Riley.
Oh, yep, just like me. You could
Well, I need another one.
another one
Thank
too?
you. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Josh is already busting on you too.
No, I told him to send it.
Yeah, but I mean, like one thing I don't like about nowadays social media, especially TikTok, is like if you really think about it, it doesn't matter what genre you are looking at.
Yeah.
They're almost like, I would say 90% of them are selling these things. First, insecurity. Second, blind faith. Third, you can be whoever you want overnight. How easy it is to be successful.
Yeah.
90% of the contact cover these three things.
Yeah.
And these are dangerous.
For sure.
Because look, think about it. I mean, public, believe it or not, I feel the same way all the time. Like, we are dumber than we thought. That's why, to me, one of the reasons I still keep talking to different people, interact with them for real conversations or like reading books sometimes, is just try not to be that dumb. It's no other good reason. For me, it's just like prevent me from getting dumber.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about this, they're always like blind faith. Like, oh, girl, you go, like, you out. Come on, dude. Like, she's almost 400 pounds. You tell her, go, girl. The fucking wrong with you? Think about the floor and the shoes. That's like straight up line. Like, no. You go, like, you get out. Like, no. Or like insecure, like you and shit. That's like, and then it's like, oh shit. So, but I'm still alive, right? So that means I'm still worth of something, right? And then you're like, oh yeah, like click on this. I can teach you this. You can be so successful in 3 hours. I was like, 3 hours? The fucking wrong. Like, it's just like things that.
Panda's not buying what y'all are selling.
Right. No, it's like literally people are selling me shortcuts. But, from my life experience, a lot of times shortcuts, 9 out of 10 times, it leads you to bear trap. It's just like, it's not going to end well,
Panda's not getting catfished.
Nope. Not this one.
Josh, there's so many things wrong with you. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. Well, let's talk about your... let's get back to cigars a little bit. So, obviously, you started off going to the cigar lounges in college, kind of found something you were passionate about. What made you want to take that next step, and how did you take that next step of getting the knowledge and growing to the point that, like, you were putting out your first Panda cigar, like your own cigar? Because there's a lot of people that ask about that on the podcast and stuff like that, like how somebody, because I mean, most of the ones are like these big brands, these big names. Like, how did you make that decision? What led to that path? And like, what were the first steps you took in that journey?
By being Chinese? No, just kidding. Thank you, Riley.
This is going down as one of my favorite shows. Look, somebody that talks as much shit as I do. I love this.
But to me, it's actually, let's talk about, what makes me want to jump into the industry, right, first. Like, to me is, I started to get this idea when I moved to Memphis. It's just like a random Thursday or Wednesday afternoon. I was chilling at this shop, at my home shop, Tinderbox, Memphis, Tennessee. And then, it's a
Was it
BYOB.
flavored blunts? You didn't go down that road?
No. Thanks God. No. No. Not this one. Yeah, it was a BYOB shop. Everybody was just talking. I think it was Thursday because the Thursday NFL. Before that, everybody started talking, and then you start to see, like, all of a sudden, I was just, of course, it's been happening so many times. That specific day, I started to see this room, right? Different occupation, different financial status,
Yeah.
different cultural background, everything. But everybody still have a laugh, smoke cigars, talk about everything, In that moment, I just want to, I think, that gave me the idea, like, to what I can do to keep this environment keep going. Don't let it die.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should create a cigar brand. Making cigars and bring people to the shops, and them stay there, keep this environment keep growing. right? Of course, there are big brands already existing out there.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like that's more like a personal thing, because as a foreigner, right? As a foreigner, cigar shops, people I've met in cigar shops, taught me everything. When I said everything, literally everything. How to speak English first, how to listen, right?
Yeah.
How to behave, old school, and and also history, American history, politics, and also music, all different stuff. I learned a lot of those in cigar shop. Why? Because look, if you ask me to look up on internet, I can't. How could I possibly look things up if I don't even know their very existence? Right?
Got you.
So to me, that's like I want to create this brand because I want to create something that benefit back to the community that made me who I am today, right? And that's why after that I start work at the cigar shop called Smoker's Abbey. It's also in Memphis. Just registration, help the customer pick up cigars. Of course, play dominoes and whooping the ass, talking shit. Love it. That
We're
helped
gonna
me
have
to
play bones now.
yeah, you never know. That
I
helped me
take
to
Biz on my team. I don't know who you're gonna bring on your team, but I got Biz.
another Chinese. Ooh,
Oh, 2 Chinese.
sweep,
Man, we're fucked.
sweep. You couldn't even tell who's who. No, but yeah. After that idea, I start to and COVID happened.
Yeah.
Right, and then because back then I was still running family business, tutoring school in China. I was
What's the family business?
tutoring school.
Tutoring school.
So like teach kids classes.
Yeah.
Math, Mandarin, English, all that stuff outside of school, right? And then I was doing operation, all that stuff with my family. We did it for I started run it for about 5 years, 5.5 actually, and then COVID hit. We decided to sell our school as a bundle to a hedge fund, all that stuff, because back then it was hot.
Yeah.
Like when you open a school, you make money, right? And then the government kills it. It's one policy overnight, shut down, pretty much killed everyone. Shut down the entire industry. And then it was at that moment I was like, okay, you know what? This is definitely a sign for me to continually what I love to do, cigars. So
Yeah.
I start to think about, okay, if I want a brand, what I need to learn, right? First thing is obviously the blends, all that stuff, but I was like, is that all? So I start to work backwards, right? I start work at the cigar shop, like I mentioned before, Smoker's Abbey, to understand the retail side of this business, right? How you interact with different people and what kind of things you want to say if you try to push certain cigars, things like that.
Yeah.
Right. And after that,
Learning what shelf space means.
exactly.
And all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. And after that, I start to, asking questions with different people from different brands, ask them how they do branding, all that stuff, to learn as much as I could.
Yeah.
But for that one, I didn't spend a whole lot of time because I realized that everyone's doing things different.
Yeah.
So if I really want to do it, I have to find my own way to do it, right? And so after that lead to me, to a new chapter where it's like, okay, now I learned everything else. Now
How'd your
let's
family
learn
feel about you taking that path?
at the first confusion. They were like, what the fuck? What's wrong with like you been using drugs or something? What the hell is that? Right? And then, for them there's always like accounting, lawyer, doctor, all that stuff. The typical Asian parents. Yes, every single thing in your head right now, those jobs. Don't pretend that I don't know what you're thinking. Yeah, but then, after that, they start to try to talk me out of it. They're like, what's wrong with you? It's a dominant, predominant, like American, like black, white, or Latino, heavily dominant. Fucking Chinese. It's like the fucking wrong with you doing there. For them, it's like why you're eating orange chicken in a steakhouse. That kind of feeling. And then it was like, no, I still gonna, I got it. And
I thought they only ate dog in a steakhouse.
Shh, quiet.
All right, my bad.
You know too much about me. No, but I mean, after that, so now I came to like, after everything I've learned, experienced, now it's like, okay, now I need to learn the foundation in making cigars from inside out. Okay, because one thing I learned from my working experience, like at the Smokers Abbey, is that you gotta learn what you're doing. You gotta know what you are doing. Okay, if you're just going there, put the bands on a cigar. If you let's say if you try to do a quick run, like 4 or 5 years, and then sell the brand, sure, do that.
Yeah.
Right, because you gotta spend a lot of money on branding, all that promotion. Sure, do that, and then let the bigger guys buy you out. That's one way. But for me, since I want to create a brand that lasts long, I gotta start with the foundation, right? And I just choose to, it's time for me to visit Nicaragua. Now, remember this, back then, that was like 2012, not 2012, 2020, 2022, yeah. I didn't even know where Nicaragua is. I don't even know if, as a Chinese citizen, if I could go there. I have a U.S. green card, right?
Yeah.
But then, the email, the embassy, all that, nothing. I got nothing. I waited. I was struggling. I was like, what's going on? Why? It's like nobody pick up the phone. Nobody emailed me back. Nothing, right? So to one day until I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go there. Figure this shit out. If I couldn't even get in, the worst thing is they send my ass right back to the States, right? What else? Well, how could it be worse? So back then I don't speak Spanish. I still barely speak it, but I hired a tour guy, as a translator as well in Nicaragua. Paid him before I even showed up, and then rent a car before I even showed up. Later on, now I know, I was like, if that motherfucker didn't even show up, I'm fucked. Like I will literally land into the middle of nowhere. I was like, huh, what? Nobody speak the language I understand.
Yeah.
But, I just flew down there by myself. Don't know nobody. And then, I'm glad he showed up.
Yeah.
Right? And, he took me around. I started knocking on doors, visit different factories. And, meet really good friends. Joe Baxter. You can look at him up on Instagram. He's a really good friend of mine. He started to introduce me to everybody. And after that, the first time I went to Nicaragua was like 2 weeks. After that, the next time, 2 months. And now it's like 1 month here, 1 month in Nicaragua. But I guess what make it looks easy for me is just because I've already did it once, moved from China to US.
Yeah.
Right? You are walking to a completely whole different, country. Everything is different.
Culture,
right.
Everything.
I'm used to it. I guess that's why it's probably easy to me.
Yeah.
But see, I still don't get it. Why people tell me like I'm crazy or something. To me, it wasn't crazy. It was just necessary, It's like,
well, you had a purpose. You knew what you were going to do. It was
right. I mean, I'm doing it anyway, right? Just because I'm crazy, I'm not gonna do it. No, still gonna do it, right? And then, right now, I'm still learning, about everything, blending, tobacco leaves, fermentation, growing. But it's when I look back now, I'm glad I made that decision 2 years ago. Just say fuck it, I'm going down there.
It's not crazy when you have a path.
Yeah.
When you have a path and you got your blinders on and you're going to that, then everything you do has its reason. It
falls into place.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm still amazed that you've only been doing this for 2 years, like seriously, because I remember the first time I met you in here, and every cigar you handed me randomly, I'm like, I even remember going back to work and I was like, yeah, I was hanging out with this really cool dude named Panda. And they're like, you know somebody named Panda? Like, they thought I was fucking with them. And I'm like, yeah, but really cool guy, like my friend Panda. And I was like, every time you gave me a stick, no band, like, and you're just handing me shit and you're like, yo, smoke this. You're going to like this. And like, trying it, I'm like, fuck, when is this coming out? Like, this was phenomenal. And like, it just like everyone, it's like every time you came back, like you came back with these bundles of cigars and you're just like, all right, I'm deciding between this one and this one. Like, you guys smoked these today. And then like this one and this one. And like, what do you think? And like, you were just always searching for feedback and stuff, but like,
I think that's how
you were like
everybody, because that's how I met him. Dapped him up, Panda busy, how you doing there? Give me a cigar. Every time I say cigar, boom, 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 and we just, that's kind of been your repertoire. So you almost get excited when you come in, and I don't mean to be selfish, be like, hey Panda, what you got?
Yeah,
you know, it's like what you got new. Because
what did Panda bring in today?
Yeah, you always had something else new and different, and it was your passion shown through what it is, but you're also laid back. You know, you're not over the top. You know, you just lay back. And that's my type of person. So it's like, well, shit, what you working on now?
Right.
And you always are working on something. That part right there. You just didn't stop with one, whatever. You always got something in the pipeline.
Yeah.
You did it today.
Yeah, that's true.
Walked in the line, what's up? We dapped up, how you doing? And you go, smoke this.
Yeah.
I got my sitting right.
Yeah.
I got sitting right here.
I was like, damn.
And I can't wait to smoke this because he says
It's a little,
this is better than my favorite cigar he did. So like, I'm super excited.
But you see like
but you never, for someone that's only been doing this 2 years, and let's just call it, you have given me a dozen cigars. Not one of those cigars has sucked. Like, that I was just like, oh shit, man. Like, all right, yeah, cool, Panda. Like, see you next time, you know? Like, I mean, but yet, I've had cigars given to me when, like, people go to PCA or something like that, and they come back and, like, here's these bundles of cigars, like, all right, smoke all these, tell me what you think. And I'm like, shit. 18 of the 20 cigars you gave me were shit. Like, they tasted horrible. Like, I wouldn't let my enemy smoke some of those cigars. Like, you know, like, I would not give it to him. Like, these other two, like, one of these, like, is okay. Like, it's okay. Like, I wouldn't put it in the humidor here at Industrial. And this one, I want to know more about it. But, like, out of 20. But, like, out of the dozen or so cigars you've given me, even when you first started coming up here, like, none of them have sucked. Like, how, I mean, is this all the, like, prep you did before you ever did that? Like, how did you make that leap? Like, did you have good mentors? Did you have good advice? Like, how did you make a leap like that? Because, like, we see a lot of stuff come in here, reps come in and try to push their new cigar or want to get it shelf space, and, like, again, a lot of them suck. Like, I'm not going to name any names, but like a lot of them are like not good cigars, and they never make it in the humidor.
Right. No,
unfortunate or what?
No. It's, to me, it's a very. I just do one thing, really simple thing, all the time. Make mistakes.
Yeah.
Fuck things up. And make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally, because while I'm making blends in Nicaragua, that is not pleasant because a lot of times that blend just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You're just like, holy shit.
Like today you were like today you were telling us, like, you made a blend that you're like, you smoked it the first couple times and you're like, man, maybe this blend just doesn't go together. And then, but you had already made so many of them, and then you went back to it like a month or so later, and you're like, holy shit, this is really good.
Oh, yeah, but also, you know, there are times like when 2 months later, I was like, man, this motherfucker sucks. Like, this just sucked dick. Like, no. There are more of those. I'm not saying, like, come on. Like, nobody is that lucky.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you got your first two wrong, like, 100% right. Sure, lucky. If you're always lucky, motherfucker, buy a fucking lottery or something, you know.
Now, how do you judge that, though? Because everybody's palate is different.
Yeah.
There's cigars that you may love, and I'm like, I mean, you see that. So, do you base it just off of what you're sensing, you're tasting, or how do you do your testing?
The testing is basically, to me, besides my flavor preference, right? What's more important to me when I smoke in a blend is that, okay, is this flavor profile make sense? Does this experience make sense? Does the transition make sense?
Yeah.
All that stuff. I don't give a shit about how I feel. Doesn't matter. It's not important. Right?
Yeah.
It's just what matters is if that experience makes sense. That experience itself makes sense. Right? Of course, I know everybody's palate different. But for people who eat beef, everybody loves steak. Now they want their steak cooked differently, but everybody loves steaks.
Nice.
Same thing, right? The small details, yes, depends on the person, right? But the fundamentals, the core of it, should have no issue. It should be like a fun experience, satisfied experience for anybody. Now, if you like it or not, right? If the flavor you like it or not, that is totally different. Right? Because some people, they don't like spicy.
Yeah.
Some people dig spicy.
Yeah.
Right? But if the flavor itself makes sense, maybe I'm not a fan of the flavor, but I can't say it's a bad cigar. Mm-hmm. It's just not for my palate. There's a difference. Because
But as you're making a brand,
right?
do you make some stuff that you think others will like that maybe you don't really like, but you're like, I'm going to put this out anyways because I know there's this group of people that will like them, like a spicier cigar?
No.
So you stay true to which ones you like?
I like all of them because the experience is unique. I'm not trying to force or convince anyone to like it.
Yeah.
If I'll just tell them this is what you're gonna taste. If you like it, buy it. If not, there's another one. Here's my friend's brand. Try this one.
Yeah.
To me, it's always about how I can contribute to this community and make this last longer. Right. And also think about this, like, the reason why I always like give people cigars I know that's good. I know it's different because I want to see people's happy reaction.
Yeah.
To me, that matters.
Yeah.
Individual experience matters to me. Because time, right?
Yeah.
You could be a billionaire and he could be like living on a food stamp. So what? Those of y'all pick up cigar, smoke it. You still got the same amount of time.
Yeah.
As long as that exists, I need to be responsible for both of you. Simple.
Got you. So is there someone, I can't remember who asked this, but somebody on here asked earlier, is there a particular region or country that you really like to work with more than another as far as your tobaccos? I mean, I know you said you started in Nicaragua.
Right.
But
So far, like right now, because the access I have to tobacco leaves, I'd say Nicaraguan. But I've already started to experience with DR tobacco leaves. And also a lot of Ecuadorian, and also start to get into like Mexico, San Andres, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's, I think, this is me, the saying, like, this is just my idea. Me as a blender, my job is to help the tobacco leaves to reach their full potential and put them together. That flavor profile makes sense. I'm not doing shit. It's the tobacco leaves.
Yeah.
It's the people who grow them, who cure them, who fermented them. They are the heroes. Me, I'm more like the deliver guy.
Yeah.
Like, think about this. Like, they are the restaurant. I'm more like Uber Eats.
Yeah.
My job is just to deliver shit.
But you're
My
kind
job
of
is
painting the
simple.
canvas. You're putting things together in unique combinations of it. And I think that's where you've developed really quickly a very good talent for that, like of taking these parts that maybe someone hasn't thought about, or like you're able to say in a very quick fashion, like, okay, I think these can go together and be married properly, but maybe it needs more time, or maybe it needs a little more fermentation. Or,
Yeah, I mean that's why I said I'm still learning. There are a lot of things, a lot of tobaccos I don't know about, and I can't wait to try them. But
yeah,
that's why I can't stop growing. I can't keep growing if I don't make mistakes.
yeah,
Right. So I think because I'm an outsider to this industry, so yes, it's it's more like a double-bladed sword. I didn't grow up in that family environment.
yeah.
So yes,
You don't have a 100-year-old family farm growing tobacco.
Right. Or, father generation, all that stuff. That means like, a lot of times, like, of course, I don't have a lot of like access or connections, all that stuff. And it will take me longer to learn the basics. But also at the same time, it will be easier for me to think outside of the box.
Yeah, because you're not limited by
Right. There's
family
no
history
limitation.
or
Right. There's
whatever.
no limitation.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a grandpa, because he made something, this won't work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that. I wish I do. It will make things probably easier for me, but also at the same time, it's like that gave me perfect chance to go wild, just try out different things.
Yeah,
That's the way. Because I'm not gonna ask them to like teach me a lot of the secrets, all that stuff. They won't. I understand that, but this is my own path. Right, so I have to pick the way that fits me the best and roll with it. Right, and also like fundamentally speaking, I never tried to it was never in my head to like compete with big names.
Yeah.
Like Placencia, Rocky, all these guys. Why? First of all, no need.
Yeah.
Look. Second of all, I'm not ignorant or arrogant. Okay, if I'm telling you that with me working my ass off can overthrow 2 or 3 generations hardworking, I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end of the day, it's just the beautiful part about this industry is everyone getting enough to eat. My goal is make shit consistent. And also, if you like it, just put that on your rotation list. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to do no more. What else I want? I just want to make sure when you light up that cigar, it tastes all the same. Every time you light it, you enjoy the time whenever you have that one. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't have time to worry about competition, all that stuff. Oh, take Russia. Why?
Yeah.
I left China because of that. Dog eat dog and competition, market share, and then guess what? At the end of the day, everybody lose.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I think that's what's pushing a lot of your early success, because you have that kind of attitude, and that you're not afraid to try things, you're not afraid to fail, and you're authentically trying to be you, or being you, not trying, you're being you. So everything's aligned, whether it's your passion and your thought process to your decision making to every piece of it still falls down to like what you're actually trying to do, and you're not limited by any boundaries really. So
Oh yeah, no. Once you skip communism, sky's the limit, motherfucker.
right back at you. Here he comes. Well, what's maybe something you've learned that you weren't expecting to learn from your cigar journey? Like what's something that maybe shocked you or surprised you that you had no idea that would happen or was going to happen, that like you were just like, man, I never thought that my journey in the cigar world was gonna like make this happen or allow me this experience?
Honestly, the entire journey itself, I did not expect none of this happening. Every single thing I didn't. It's always out of my expectation.
Yeah.
Like think about it, like even my mom, like sometimes when I think about it, it's just crazy. How the fuck a Chinese dude got into cigar world and actually became a cigar blender and started making things people like?
Yeah.
And I was like, That's a really good question. Fuck, I don't even know. Like, I guess because, I'm always so busy with enjoy the present, enjoy the moment. Never thought about it. Never, because I think every day since then, like, doesn't matter Nicaragua or here, I'm always exciting.
Yeah.
Because I'm always learning something new. Either it's new blends, new combination, new tobacco leaves, or like, new people, new cigars I've tried, from other people. I love to do it. Like, be honest with you, in the States, a lot of times I don't smoke my cigar. I smoke other people's cigar. And, some of them, I know them as friends. I will start asking them questions. I was trying to, give them my idea. Maybe this is something you can try out to make it fun.
Yeah.
And, the other day I just, write down like 3 or 4 blends. I write it down to Sebastian from Cavalier. Because, he's awesome. Very talented. From a different cultural background. He's Swedish.
Yeah.
I'm Chinese, right? He's learning everything himself. So a lot of times we just, like, you literally, when we sit together, you start to see 2 nerds start talking. Like tobacco leaves. Oh, have you tried this combination? So that day, I just write down 3 blends, all that stuff, tear that paper, and I give that to him. Like, dude, try this out. Right? I mean, because look, I don't care. At the end of the day I know he's doing things right. He's always trying his best to maintain the consistency. He's always trying to offer in things people like, enjoy. And he makes this community more divided in a better way.
Yeah.
So, of course, I don't care. Like, sure, whatever you need help, I'll be glad to help.
What's a failure that maybe really impacted you that, like, maybe you thought this was like a huge failure, but actually was a big stepping stone or a turning point for you?
I would say actually take a step back and slow down. I was not in a rush. I was trying to push and push, keep the brand growing, all that stuff. But later on I decided, you know what, that's one of those few moments I realized I'm starting to slowly going towards a direction that's kind of like the opposite of where I want to go.
Yeah.
So I slow down and pause, turn around, adjust direction, and keep going. I'm glad I slowed down. I do. Because I think right now I became more comfortable to do what I do, and making cigars, all that stuff in a way that I want people to experience better. So yeah, sometimes that's why I tell people, sometimes maybe you think don't be afraid of take a step down or take a step back. Back up a step, because maybe sometimes that step when you take back, you can actually see more.
Yeah.
Right. So
that makes a lot of sense. What would be some advice you would give to somebody? Like, we get asked this a lot. We see a lot of people talk about and want to go down that path of, like, I got asked by somebody not too long ago of, are you going to do a common sense cigar? Like, are you going to have your own cigar? Like, yeah, probably not, because, am I going to, because I can't half-ass something. Like, I would have to do like you. Like, if I'm going to do it, then, like, I want to really, like, immerse myself in it. I'm going to, like, go try to do something different, unique, that I really like, that's going to, that I think is going to push some boundaries and, like, be a little different and be something that I could really, like, put my name behind.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to just go be like, Panda, can you get me some labels from China? And I'm going to slap a label of common sense on some cigars. Like that. So, like, we've had some people You know, like I know, like Mark McClurk in here, he has a new cigar drop, the Katie, that's coming out. I think June 1st. Don't hold me to that, but like, yeah, it's dropping here soon. But you know, there's different people that like didn't start out in the cigar world, or maybe just were avid cigar smokers that have had the idea or maybe thought about it. If someone was going to take that first step of like, I want to make, I have this brand idea and I want to do my own cigar, what advice would you give that person?
3 things. Very simple. First, don't fuck people over. Okay? Second, don't give a fuck. You have to have that mentality of don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Third, be patient. Make loneliness and time your best ally.
Right on.
All right, first thing, it's really easy. Don't fuck people over. Simple.
Yeah.
All right? You are always the one who make the decision. When you do, please don't choose the one you're going to fuck people over. Because in the long run, it always, sooner or later, come back and bite you in the ass.
You mean even in China, karma's a bitch?
Everywhere. Karma bitch is universal.
Universal.
Yeah. Just don't, you don't need to get what you want by fuck people over.
Yeah.
So don't do it.
Yeah.
Right? No point. It's pointless.
Yeah.
Especially this industry. Everybody have plenty to eat. When you can help.
Yeah.
It's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
When you can't, just tell them you can't and tell them the reason. But don't fuck people over. Not worth of it.
Yeah.
Second, don't give a fuck. You have to have that mentality. Look, everyone can tell you you should do this, you should do that, 1, 2, 3, 4. But end of the day, you gotta know what you gonna do, what you want, how you want to do it. Right? That's the only way you can actually do this. Like, without, because there will be frustration, headaches,
Yeah.
a lot of things, failure. But as long as you stay true to your path, you're gonna do it. That's what help you to power through all these dark times.
Yeah.
Right? And also, in life, I always tell people, there are 2 type of people. People who give you opinions, you a lot of times don't give a fuck about them, right? And then there are people who give you advice. Learn from that and thank them. Okay? Because there are 2 different things. Opinions, everybody have an opinion, just like an asshole.
Yeah.
Right? But opinion is like, it serve no purpose.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everybody said, oh, the sky is blue. And my opinion is, no, motherfucker, sky is white. Doesn't fucking matter. That won't change anything.
Yeah.
At all. Advice is that it serves a purpose. Advice is something that once you listen, you grow, improve. It's actually to help you to get better.
Yeah, help you grow.
Right. So listen to advice. Don't listen to opinion. Don't give a. Look, there will always be people who hate me with a passion. Right. I mean, right now there's probably like I always tell people, oh, you hate me? Okay, here's your number, waiting in line. Dude, like there are plenty of people hit my ass in China already. You think I give a fuck about another one in here? Come on, man. Like, no, I don't have time for that, right? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You have to realize what you really want and go after it. And the third one is being patient. It's because with AI, all that stuff, you can do things like that.
Yeah.
With cigar, no, motherfucker, I don't care who you are, your ass gonna wait.
Yeah, it's like bourbon, it's got to have some time. It's got to age. It's got to grow. It's got to...
You can be upset all you want, but if that's how long it takes, that's how long it takes. They don't give a shit. 200 years ago, they don't give a shit. Now they don't give a shit. 200 years from now, they still don't give a shit. So be patient.
Right on, man. Are you? Do you have plans to put out other sizes of cigars? Because I know you had 2 that I know of that you've put out so far, and all of them have been about the same size gauge. Or is that just your preference and what you like to smoke, or is that just where you're starting, or are you going to do the same cigars in some different sizes? Because like I know, I think Rob asked earlier, are you going to make a Lancero? You know, like are you going to put some different sizes out there, or what's
So
your
the
plan
sizes,
there?
right? The sizes, it has to depends on the blend, right? There
Yeah.
are certain blends you can make Lancero, but there are certain blends you just can't because the tobacco leaves. You can't do it. So I'd say for new sizes, all that stuff, like doesn't matter Corona or like Lancero or even long Lancero,
Yeah.
I will definitely try to make them. Because shit, I want to smoke them first. God damn, like you think I don't want to smoke them? I want to see how that turns out too.
Yeah.
So once I do that, and then maybe do that as a event special or something like that. I'm still, I'm still not comfortable with the idea of limited edition.
Yeah.
It's like limited edition. What is limited edition? Like fucking, Yes, I'm calling names. Like, no, I don't. Well, you guys know what I'm talking about, but LE is, I don't know.
I mean, to me, when I hear limited edition on a cigar, I'm thinking like this is a certain tobacco that is maybe you had a really limited grow season, maybe you had some abnormality in the weather, the climate, something that even though you put this out, maybe it just tastes a little different, or maybe you didn't have enough and you weren't sure how you were going to combine it with something else, whether that was the binder, the filler, and like maybe you aged it a little longer or something like that, and it's not going to be a part of your staple brand because of those limitations. You couldn't mass produce it, but you still wanted to put it out because it was a good cigar. And maybe I'm just making stuff up because I don't know what numbers you guys really work in. But, say your staple, you're able to put out, 100,000 cigars a year. But because of this crop or this year, maybe you were only able to make, 10,000 cigars. I could see calling it a limited edition because of that, and like making it something different, and maybe wanting to put a little bit of a different label or brand on it in that regards. But yeah, I think it's frustrating to see somebody that, I mean, I haven't seen this a lot, but it's probably due to my lack of knowledge of like I can't do like you and be like, this is this wrapper, this is this gauge, this is this binder, it's these fillers. Like a lot of times when you tell me that shit, I'm just like, all right, motherfucker, you're speaking Mandarin to me right now. Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, I've heard those terms, but like, I've never gone to a cigar factory and done that. Like, I picked some tobacco when I was younger working on a farm in Connecticut, but like, I mean, like, I couldn't tell you what it was, what leaf it was, what plant it was. Like, I mean, I can't tell you any of that shit.
Well,
I'd tell you it was probably a Connecticut wrapper, but
right.
like, like it is frustrating the few times I have seen it where I know damn sure, because I smoke a lot of their cigars, that like this is the same thing you put out all the time and you just put a little extra band on it that says limited edition.
See, that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
I think if it's true limited edition, do that. Treat the tobacco right.
Yeah.
And
So your
and release
definition
that.
of limited edition would be the same as mine. Like,
Right.
It's
but when you start to use limited edition as a marketing catch or something, that's like, come on, dude. Don't. It's, to me, that's just like, or like you just put expensive tobacco leaves all that together and sell that for a LE price without thinking about it. It's like, now you just rob people blind. Like,
yeah.
sometimes like It's like cigar blending to me is just like a lot of times just like cooking.
Yeah.
Right? Just because you put all the expensive ingredients together doesn't mean that shit will turn, good. Because you can have like Kobe beef, and then lobster, right? Boston lobster, and then crab leg. Each of them is delicious individually, but once you put all those shit, is try to make a stew. Good luck. That shit will be nasty. Same thing with blends. Like it's just like I think when it's LE, either the access for this tobacco leaves is limited, or like you really put a lot of effort to you have to do like put a lot of effort on limited resource to make that blends. Yes, sure, that's definitely 100% LE. But then you were just like, because we don't have this much left over.
Yeah.
Might as well just make something. I was like, come on, dude. Just call that special edition or something. Don't call it limited edition.
Yeah.
Like what? I mean, if you look up dictionary, these two words are different. And that is the Chinese tell you the difference between English words. Holy shit.
What have we come to?
Damn. And I went to public school.
Man. You mean you weren't just one of those crazy rich Asians that I watched in the movie?
Oh, dude. So speak of that.
I was going to bring that up about a half hour ago.
After that movie, I swear to God, after that movie, I was still in Memphis when that movie played. I was a little bit nervous. I was like, God damn. They motherfuckers just make all of us a public target now. You couldn't tell the difference between us? You will think all Asian motherfuckers are rich. I was like, fuck, man. Like, don't fucking.
You gonna walk out the theater and get a hood over your head and get kidnapped.
Right, exactly. I was
Give
like,
me mama's number.
Again, like, I'm not even Thomas or Frank. Jesus, I'm Panda. How many times I need to tell you? Like,
You're super and magic.
Right?
I mean, all I know is you guys bought the tollway and our tolls never went away. Wow. They just went up.
Oh, Chinese people, man, I'm telling you.
Oh,
but still, love my people. But I actually, you know what? Nowadays, there's this weird feeling I have. Like, I feel like I'm more like an outsider on both sides. Like, because here I look different, right? I look from outside. Now, when I'm in China, because I've been living in this States for 12 years, it changed me, right? Everything. The way I think, the way I carry myself. I look the same in China, but people can tell I'm different. But, at the first place I saw, oh my God, once again, the outsider, the one who got left alone. Now I love it. Because I'm not labeling myself to a certain group. Does that mean I belong to every group? Right? In a way.
I think it just makes you human, man.
Right? And then you because of that, you have the perfect chance to see everything in the way that you want.
Yeah. Do you think that's just because you're more well-rounded now because of your travels and experiences versus some of these people? Like, I imagine there's a lot of people, considering how many people are, you said 13 million in the one city you lived in. I know what I thought was crazy, as big as Texas is. When I first moved to Texas, I thought it was crazy how many people I had met that had never been outside of Texas. Oh, like, that was just really weird to me. But then you think about how big Texas is. When I lived in Connecticut, you drove an hour and a half in any direction, and you're in different states. So people got out and traveled a little more. You could hop on the train and be in New York City in 45 minutes to an hour. You could, then you're in New York City and you can hop on the subway and you can be in Harlem, Manhattan, Brooklyn. You can go all these places really fast. Like, it's just so different. But like, it amazed me how many people have like never been outside of Texas. Is that common in China too? That like there's a lot of people, like a big majority, that like have never been outside of like that city or their state, what we'd call their state or whatever.
Very common. Or like, another thing, like, for us, we're surprised that, oh my God, you've never taken a flight before? You've never take flight to anywhere?
Yeah.
But think about this though. That's actually, to me, I think that's because with the people we've seen in the airport, they're just like us.
Yeah.
And that's when we thought, oh, it's normal. But the world is way much bigger than that.
Yeah.
Right? People who never fly, you will never meet them.
Yeah.
Of course you will never meet them. That's why they never fly.
Yeah.
Right? So to me, I was like, that's, you know, that's just one thing you realize. That I think that's one thing I love about traveling. Like, you know, the more places you go to, you know, you really start to see how different people, individual, could be.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best part about being human.
So what about growing up and like, what was it with you that coming out of high school, you made that decision and you made that leap? I mean, aside from the fact that you got a scholarship, like what made you go, I want to go to Michigan and, you know, I want to go to America and I want to go to school there, versus what I assume a lot of your friends did and went to a, you know, college there in China.
Right. Oh, I think we're looking for different things. They are more, I think for them, they want security. Mm-hmm. Right? Maybe this path they choose or you choose is not a so-called exciting path, but it's very predictable. It's secure.
It's a safe.
Right, it's a safe path. But for me, I'm looking for answers. You know, answers for myself, answers for like what other people think about Chinese people, or like answers for this world.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a better way at all. I think it just, you gotta choose the path that fits you the most.
Was that how you were raised? I mean, is that like something that was taught to you and how your parents raised you? Like to think that way? And to
hell no. My parents, they always like, you need to go this, you need to do that. Oh my God, why you're not? It's like,
so you were the rebel.
100%. 100%. There are so many times I stand outside of the classroom for the entire 2 or 3 classes, and then the teacher told me, stay outside when I call your name. And guess what? When he called my name, my ass is gone. Like, fuck you, I ain't staying there like for fucking 40 minutes stand there. Like, when he was like, where the fuck? I just long gone. I was like, you asked me to go out, guess what? I'm gonna run it around.
Panda out.
Yep, Panda out of the cage. Yep. So but I think that's what I learned of all these years traveling, talking to different people. That at the first place, you know, we always have like, you feel weird, like, what? Huh? Why you think like that? Like, don't you supposed to think like this? You start with that, and then later on you start to say, oh, okay, there are people who think differently, act differently, right? You start to accept them, and then to later on embrace them. I think it takes time and process. And, you know, that's why I was like, I'm always happy. Why not? Every day I learn something new about this world. It doesn't matter good or fucked up. It's always good because it's changing. It's changing myself. The world's still moving. Yes, there's fucked up things. There's fucked up people. But when I saw that, it helped me to realize to cherish what I have right now even more.
Yeah.
Right. So I think nowadays it's always about perspective.
That's why I love hanging out with you and talking to you. Like, I love your attitude and your outlook on everything, man. Like, it's really cool to see that, like, you know, you tell me like I wasn't raised that way. Like, this is not something that was like really acceptable, or, you know, like this was just in my nature. This was just like Panda at his core, like that I had to go experience these things, that I had to go see the world for myself.
Yeah.
And you've like always done that and stayed true to that. I think that's fucking amazing.
I mean, shit. I mean, high school, I was the one who got left over, who got isolated, right? Just because I don't want to lie to people, all that stuff. I don't belong to a certain group, right?
Yeah.
At the first place, look, I used to have depression problems because I thought I was the weird one. I was the crazy one. I was the sick one, right? And then When I moved to the States, I was like, hold up, wait a minute. No. They're the fucked up one. I'm the cool one. You see, but it's always, nothing changed. I didn't change. China didn't change. US didn't change.
Yeah.
My perspective changed.
You just had to find where you fit in. And where
really depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
You know,
so you didn't feel like you fit in the culture and like the society that you grew up in. You felt more at home and at ease when you got to America?
I would say the country doesn't matter. The people.
Yeah, but I mean, amongst the people you grew up with and around, you felt like an outsider there.
Yeah.
But then when you got to America, you're like, oh, I found my people. I feel like I fit in more here. Is that a fair statement, or is that off a little?
I still try to say, like, you know, it's actually because the individuals I meet, right?
Yeah,
because you know, there are same group, like in Nicaragua.
Yeah,
we have group like we have Americans, Chinese, Lithuania, Dominican Republic. We all get along. We're a perfect group. That actually helped me is just like, at the end of the day, it's the individuals, right? I mean, of course, you know, even that doesn't matter, China or States. You will always have different people, assholes, good people. I mean, there are still like some really cool people in China. I'm not gonna lie. I love to hang out with them because they always help me to learn stuff, right? Teach me things I've never heard about before. Same thing here. So I think it's like, you know, sometimes we have this confused idea between people, country, government. Right? They are separate.
yeah,
Right? You can love your people and love your country, the government. Yeah, sometimes you agree to disagree. Right? But fundamentally, the foundation of society is human. So individual matters.
yeah. I agree 100%. I wish a lot of people could step back and take it to a human level instead of he's a black man, you're a Chinese guy, I'm a white guy. Like, I mean, that shit don't fucking matter. Like, treat people like fucking human beings. Life's a lot more pleasant.
Mm-hmm. I mean, don't you like see? And again, the way you look at things.
Yeah.
If I see another, I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Because you know what? If I saw a guy who's from Turkey, I'm not nervous. Like, holy shit, that's awesome. Please speak some Turkish. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't it be awesome?
Yeah. Well, it's the same way as I don't like cruises. Like, when I go on vacation and I decide I want to go someplace, especially someplace I've never been, I don't want to do the touristy shit. Like, I want to experience the culture, the people. Like, I want to go eat at the restaurants they eat at. Like, I want to go see those things. And when you're on a cruise, you're very limited. You pull into a port. They don't go to the port to have dinner on their Friday night dinner and like hang out. Like, they're on the complete opposite island, you know, or on the other side of the island, and they're doing their thing. And like, you can't possibly get to all that on a cruise and like really experience that. Like,
nope.
I think a cruise is cool for like, you want to check out some places that you might like to go and to get that idea, but like, you're not really going to get the experience of the culture and the people on a cruise. And that's where my disconnect with the cruise is.
That's why, like, I got something similar. Like, a lot of the Chinese in this, you know, in the States, they always talk about how awesome Chinatown is, all that stuff. I was like, dude, it's just like you were going back home. How exciting is that? No. I want to see America. Like, I want to see American experience. Like, give me some bacon, motherfucker. Don't give me fucking General Tso's chicken. Jesus Christ. No. I didn't fucking fly all the way to the other side of the world just to experience some ordered chicken. What's fucking wrong with me? Like, no.
I want some Chihuahua.
Right? And I'll be like, okay, let's fly to Hawaii.
That's spam. My little brother lives over there.
Spam are awesome to me. I know a lot of people are like, dude, but seriously, if you go to Hawaii, if you gotta cook the spam right, that shit tastes
Oh,
like this. Yeah.
Cool. I'm out on that.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Over on it. My brother, we went over there. He was like, "Hey, we're going to this gas station. Stop!" And I walk in, and they got these little like spam sandwich things. He's like, "These are the bomb." I'm like, "Nope, not doing it."
Why not?
I've had spam as a kid growing up, and it just like maybe I should have been a little more open to trying there, but I can remember when my dad used to fry spam or fry bologna, and man, like I just can't do it anymore.
No,
like, as a kid, if you asked me from the time I could walk and talk to about probably 5 years old, if you asked me what I wanted for lunch, it was a bologna and cheese sandwich. Like.
Look.
I ate it every damn day. Like, I can't do it. Like, the only bologna I can eat now is someone proved me wrong. They bet me that I wouldn't eat smoked bologna, and they went and had this guy put a bologna on his smoker, and that shit was amazing. Like, yeah, all right, I'll eat that. But see, I'm not eating sliced bologna out of Oscar Mayer package.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I can't do that.
But
no,
you know what? That was back then when you were a kid. I mean, look, if I feel like the same way you do, I won't love bacon, right? Because I mean, I had bacon before I was in China, and then my mom doesn't know how to cook bacon properly. That shit was nasty. I'm talking about it's not crispy. It's like kind of like you can still bite through. Like if it's like, what
chewy,
the fuck is that? Right,
yeah.
right. Like every possible way you could imagine how to cook a bacon round. How the hell you cook a bacon round? Anyway, it's my mom. Love her.
I hope she's
But you
listening.
know, right? I was like. Thanks God she doesn't understand English. Anyway,
Google Translate, damn it, Panda.
yeah, but it's
She's gonna be like, my baby boy's on here. I'm gonna Google Translate.
no,
this
you
so
know
I
what?
can
Speaking
hear
of
all
Google
this.
Translate, true story. There was one night when I used to work at Smoker Sabi. There was one night where we just started going back and forth, like looking ass, cursing, like checking on people, looking ass, all that stuff. And then the owner said, "Hey Panda, how do you say looking ass in Mandarin, in Chinese?" I was like, I don't think we have something like that. It's like, no, just Google Translate. When that literally, the Chinese translation,
Yeah.
it's the literally meaning gawking at someone's ass. So I was like, no, motherfucker, that's not. See?
It's not the same.
Hey, technology can't solve everything, all right? So not yet. But yeah, I mean, but when I come to the States, holy shit, the bacon, god damn. Even turkey bacon is fucking awesome to me.
Yeah.
I will still occasionally have those. Yeah, but I mean, crispy bacon, whew. Jesus, Lord mercy.
I think you should get like a bacon tattoo. I know, guys. Seriously, he has like 2 slices of bacon tattooed on his arm.
Damn. That's serious.
That's serious. That's bacon
Out
is
of
serious.
control.
So serious.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, we're getting towards the end of the show here, and I know I could do this forever with you. So I'm gonna take you to our final 2 little segments / questions we like to do with everybody. So the first one is, if you could leave, we're going to say child, but I know you don't have kids. So if you could leave a child or somebody with one piece of advice, what is your one piece of advice that you think people should really take to heart and like?
Mistakes is not failure. Mistakes is treasures.
I like that a lot. All right. Second one. So the show's called Common Sense. We've gone down every rabbit hole I can think of tonight. I can't wait to see where you go with this. But we like to call this segment, Give Us Your 2 cents. So you can give us your 2 cents on anything. Maybe it's something we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about. Maybe it's something that you just want to throw out there. Maybe it's just some more great Panda advice.
Okay, there's one thing I have to fucking complain. All right.
All right, let's go.
Y'all motherfucker make English way too complicated. All right? Seriously? Look. Grape jerky. It's grape jerky. Y'all have to come up with a new word? Raisins? Why? Dude, that shit is very, look, that shit is very confused and frustrated to me. Because literally it was one day I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not gonna call raisins. I was like, yeah, I went to like Kroger. I was like, hey man, where I can buy some grape jerky? He's like, what jerky? Grape jerky, you know, the dry fruit, like dry grapes. Like, oh, you mean raisins? The fuck is the raisin? It doesn't even start with the same initial letter. That to me is just, look, to me, I'm just saying, from a Chinese perspective, grape jerky makes more sense. Okay, it just makes more sense.
I'm literally going to Kroger when I leave here and ask for grape jerky.
I mean, I would have never thought
about it that way.
Who fucking invented the word raisins? Like, motherfucker, y'all just try to make my work. You might fucking, yeah, no shit that my English is difficult.
I wonder how many more things like that there are that, like,
it's just like, fucking, what's wrong with you?
like,
Grape.
you're not wrong.
Right.
It's not.
I mean, like, it makes sense.
It's dry.
Grapes.
Hey, it's grape
jerky.
It's a jerky.
Grapes.
So grape jerky. Why is that I'm the wrong one or I'm the crazy one? Oh no, you mean raisin?
I mean, cheese is kind of this, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
What is cheese?
there's so many things like that. Like, I wonder how many, is there another one like that you can think of?
I mean, so far that's actually my life experience brought into that.
All right.
Grape jerky.
I'm just wondering if there's more. Like, that's so interesting.
His 2 cents got, like, I've never been stumped on the 2 cents question.
No, that was awesome.
I was like, damn, grape jerky.
I mean, I'm sorry guys, but I have to make that complaint. I was like,
No, I get
No,
it.
but the shit makes sense. That's what I'm tripping. I'm like,
exactly. And then every time they're like, what? What is that? Grape
What's
jerky.
common sense to me is not common sense to you. I
Yep.
mean, point in case.
He said
Exactly.
that earlier. He's the individual. He's the rebel. And like I said,
Yeah,
you have
he's
to
the
think
rebel.
when you're- Yeah, that.
It's that communism coming out in him.
I'm never going to think of raisins the same ever again.
Me neither. I can't even see the little raisin guys dancing anymore. Like,
I'm
they
gonna
need
stomp
to
the shit out
be,
of
they
my
need to be
kids
like
when I go
Slim
home.
Jim sticks now.
Oliver, you want some what? Some grape jerky? And Oliver, he'll be like, he'll try to figure it out and be like, oh man.
So you haven't had this experience maybe yet. Do you know what fruit leathers are? So they literally take grapes or apricots or you pick a fruit and they make it in a beef jerky stick, but they call it, because it's fruit, they call it a fruit leather.
I heard a fruit roll up, but not a fruit leather. Is it kind of like a fruit roll up?
Thicker. Just think of a regular stick of beef jerky that's like an inch wide, a quarter of an inch thick.
I'm wondering.
6 inches long. Like they call them fruit straps or fruit sticks. Like,
I'm wondering if they make durian
Fruit leathers.
that way.
if they're what?
Durian, you know, the big spike, big ass fruit you saw in Thailand or Malaysia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The stinky one. I was like, I'm wondering. They make ice cream flavor out of that. That shit's good. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Just don't ever heat up. Okay, whatever you do, piece of advice. You want advice? Another advice, kid?
Yeah.
Don't ever heat up anything related to durian. That will literally make you feel like someone shit right there on the spot.
Oh.
But it tastes good.
It tastes good. To me, it tastes good. All right. Yeah, because I learned that in hard way. Heat up is bad, and throw the shell or in open space is equally bad, because it was one time high school. All right, I brought a whole fresh durian, and me and my roommates, 3 of us, we eat the whole thing. And then, you know, because there's like the trash can is like open, there's no cover on top, right? You just throw the shell in there. And then literally the next morning, literally people were screaming, oh, I was screaming, which motherfucker take a shit in the alley? We were like, no, just pretend. No, we're all sick. No, we're fall asleep. No, don't answer nothing.
That's like the cruel trick. I read it or seen it somewhere where somebody got pissed at their landlord, or it was the ex, and they took a shrimp, just a shrimp, raw shrimp, and they put it on top of a curtain rod in the room. Oh. And it was right where the heat vent was. And they could not find this stench, and it was so bad that people moved out the house. And the next people, they couldn't find it, and it was just a shrimp sitting on top of the curtain, out of sight, out of mind. And I didn't know, like, one raw shrimp could smell that bad.
I'll tell you one like that. Me and a couple guys in high school when I moved to Texas all had classic hot rods. And I came home from a baseball tournament, and these bastards put my car on blocks. So I had to sit there and like jack up my car, put each tire back on. Yeah, after a baseball tournament, man, I was pissed. So I found out who did it. Well, we went fishing the next week. And while he was at football, I went and popped the hood on his car, and I cut a catfish right down the middle, and I set it on each side of his manifold. Right on top of his manifold. So when he fired that thing up, well, it sat there cooking on top of his engine block all middle of summer. And then when he got back, he turned it on, started driving home. Well, he cranked that AC on and stuff, man. And yeah, man, that oil from the fish got into his manifold. He had to change out his manifold. Like, he smelled like fish for a while.
Another thing is goat
I will
cheese.
win those battles.
Goat cheese against the heater, all that stuff. Ooh.
Oh, that's bad.
We teaching y'all some bad shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to consider that 1 cent from Panda. Give us your 2nd cent, because I still feel like you're going to drop some gold nugget here.
Well, another one. Let's see. You mean like something that's common sense to me, but
Yeah, or maybe not to us, or something you think.
Oh yeah, true story. So this, god damn, Chinese education system never fulfilled their word on sex education. Okay.
This is how you end the show. Go ahead.
This is going to be a wrap after this one.
So, of all these years, this is actually recently, very recent, until this past PCA, I learned the truth. Of all my 31 years living, I always thought you cannot drink when you are on period, which is a completely false. I heard that from my friend group, one of my friend's fiance, and she's like, "What? Are you crazy? Like, my period is already bad enough. You're not allowing me to drink." I was like, I saw you were not supposed to drink at all. She's like, "No, when you're pregnant, you are supposed, like, when you're period, don't stuff, like, drink that. It's like, that make you easy." I was like, these motherfuckers been lying for me.
That's what
like
they
30
taught y'all,
years.
that a woman can't drink while she's on her
Period.
Wow.
Yep. I swear to God, I just learned that. This past
That's why y'all got
March.
so many kids over there in China, because as soon as they got off their period, it was on. Everybody was blah, blah, blah.
But they're limited to one.
Yep.
How does that make any sense?
Yep.
So you can only have one. Oh, that is true. You can only have one child?
Yeah, you're supposed to only, for a long time.
Back then. Now they're like recommending you to have 3. We were like, motherfucker, you can tell me to, you can tell me to not making baby, but you can force me to make baby. So, well, fuck you too then.
Practicing going on, but damn.
Man, that's wild. Well, Panda, I want to thank you for coming and doing the show, man. I know we've talked about this for a while.
Absolutely.
And, man, I wish you all the best in your cigar journey, man, because I love smoking what you put out there. I can't wait to see what you put out next. I'm really looking forward to smoking this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back again next week before we have a little week off. So you guys, we'll be back Thursday next week on our regular time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Peace.
Peace.